And while Washington maintains the large-scale surveillance project exposed by Snowden, saying it targets only terrorism, well, it apparently turns out that Skyping, Googling and chasing likes on Facebook aren't something potential terrorists tend to do. RT's Irina Galushko is here to tell us, well, exactly what part of cyberspace instead that they occupy. Is it more or less true then, Irina, that extremist elements, radical elements tend to avoid the popular networking sites?
Absolutely, it is true. Because when we're talking about PRISM and what it does, we have to understand that it actually covers a very small portion of the internet. In fact, PRISM only is basically involved with the largest companies such as Google or Facebook or YouTube. And that's where most of its search is done. But then, of course, most of these websites aren't really the focus of the jihadists. They have a tendency to look for terrorist-related information, and they can find it on the appropriate forums, which in fact are hidden deep within the so-called underweb. If you look at this, you can imagine it basically as an iceberg. At the tip of the iceberg is everything that PRISM is focusing on, but underneath there's billions and billions of bits of data which is not covered by PRISM, and all of these are all of the information that's essentially underneath the iceberg is not indexed by the major search engines. In fact, Google has at one point admitted that it only indexes less than 1% of data that's available on the web. According to the Dutch intelligence service, potential terrorists have a tendency to go to core forums, which are highly encrypted and hidden within the deep web. So they really have to know what they're looking for and where to find it. For example, a case in point could be the Tsarnaev brothers. They have turned to one of the more known radical sources, sometimes referred to as the Vanity Fair of Al-Qaeda. And though the website's existence is no secret, for some reason, US security services failed to track down the brothers' activity, even after a tip-off from Russia. And thereby, they failed to prevent the Boston bombings. So really, when we're talking about PRISM, looking at the information and supposedly using it to prevent terrorist attacks such as the Boston bombings or whatever it may be, they're actually reading emails and Facebook accounts and really failing to look where some people actually know for a fact terrorists go to look for information.
Yeah. Indeed, it can't be that complicated for America's intelligence services,
think, right?
You know, for the biggest in the world. RT's Irina Galushko, thank you.